At the age of 78, Jim Walker finally comes clean to Esther Rolle. Jim Walker was born on June 25, 1947, in the Bronx, New York. He is James Carter Walker Jr. in full. Walker's early years were characterized by financial hardship due to his upbringing in the affluent South Bronx neighborhood of New York City in the 1950s and 1960s. His comedic voice would later be shaped by this experience, which also added realism to his depictions of working-class life. His mother, Lina, worked as the head nurse at a local hospital. His father, James Sr., worked at a lot of jobs and didn't spend much time with him. He developed strength, discipline, and hard work as a result of going through difficult times as a child. Walker's development was influenced by both the lessons he learned and the bustling, occasionally chaotic streets of New York City. He was very interested in electronics and attended Theodore Roosevelt High School. After a while, he was able to attend the RCA Technical Institute thanks to a government program. He worked as a radio engineer prior to his fame and demonstrated a keen interest in how things operated. Later on, this interest would manifest itself in his performance's technical aspects, such as timing and delivery. Jimmie began his career in entertainment in the early 1970s by performing stand-up comedy at various New York City bars. He wrote in an engaging, witty, and candidly critical manner. At the time, black comedy was starting to gain popularity on TV programs like Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In and The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, as well as in venues like the Apollo Theater. He rose to fame in this world very fast. His charisma and comedic timing attracted television directors, and he quickly landed the role that would permanently define his career, James J. Evans Jr. on the popular CBS sitcom Good Times. One of the first network programs to highlight a black working-class family residing in the Chicago housing projects was Good Times. It took place between 1974 and 1979. Walker immediately became famous for his portrayal of JJ, a slender, talkative, optimistic artist with a huge personality. His catchphrase, "Dynamite," was repeatedly chanted by people across the United States. It is now a part of the history of television. Walker's humorous charm and expressive body language helped make JJ a popular character. He solidified Walker's position in popular culture and made him a star. On Good Times, Walker experienced both success and setbacks. He grew frustrated with his co-stars, particularly John Amos and Esther Rolle, as the show progressed. They believed that the show's initial objective of presenting a sober, socially conscious aspect of African American life was undermined by the emphasis on JJ's antics. Amos and Rolle were concerned that the show had become ridiculous instead of realistic. Despite Walker's belief that comedy could appeal to a broad audience, these disparities occasionally caused tension on the set. Walker consistently delivered outstanding performances and approached his work with professionalism. Jimmie Walker faced typecasting after Good Times ended, a problem that many actors face when they become overly associated with a single well-known character. Nevertheless, he continued to pursue his first passion, stand-up comedy, steadily. Walker embarked on a nationwide tour in the 1980s and 1990s, performing to crowded bars and gaining a sizable following of loyal fans. Additionally, he appeared as a guest star on numerous television programs, including Everybody Hates Chris, Fantasy Island, The Drew Carey Show, and The Love Boat. He frequently infused his roles with nostalgia. In addition to his stage and screen work, Walker rose to prominence in political and cultural discussions. He frequently refers to himself as a conservative and is renowned for his independent thinking, which has caused him to clash with other celebrities. Similar to how he performs his comedic acts, he has discussed race, politics, and entertainment in an open and honest manner on talk shows and news programs. His book, Dynamite, Good Times, Bad Times, Our Times, was published in 2012. He discussed his early years, his ascent to fame, and the challenges of working in show business candidly. Best known for his iconic role as J.J. Evans on the sitcom Good Times in the 1970s, Jimmie Walker made a brief but noteworthy appearance in the odd comedy Big Money Railroad in 2010. The Western-themed spoof film, which was produced by the Insane Clown Posse, featured a lot of odd and colorful characters and was set in a bizarre Old West. Walker's brief appearance gave the film a nostalgic touch and celebrity power despite its brief duration. His appearance in this cult-style comedy delighted fans who remembered him from his TV days and demonstrated that he was still willing to try new things and forego conventional roles in odd projects that dealt with the bizarre and the bizarre. Walker made yet another outlandish appearance in the Sci-Fi Channel's extravagant creature feature Super Shark in 2011. A giant shark that had been altered to be able to swim, jump on land, and attack tanks was the subject of this science fiction film, which was typical of the ridiculous and intentionally unrealistic sci-fi of the era. Despite playing a minor role, Walker's well-known charm and comedic timing added humor to the film. The film thrived on its B-movie vibe and silliness. For those who grew up watching him on television, his appearance in the film brought back pleasant memories. They witnessed his self-awareness and good sense of humor as he accepted the ridiculousness of contemporary cable horror. After over 10 years, Walker shocked fans once more on May 4, 2023, when she made a guest appearance on the popular CBS daily soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. Although Walker's comedic roles are his most well-known, his serious guest appearance was a welcome change of pace that demonstrated his versatility and length of time in the entertainment industry. Walker fans and longtime soap opera viewers alike took notice of his performance, despite his limited role on the show. Walker's casting decision demonstrated the show's desire to incorporate seasoned performers into its continuing storyline. The episode was more entertaining and engaging than anticipated because of Walker's appearance. When Walker focused on writing in 2012, his career achieved a significant turning point. Dynamite, Good Times, Bad Times, Our Times, his book, was released. The book provided a candid and reflective look at his life and career, tracing his journey from a difficult Bronx upbringing to stardom on one of the most well-known sitcoms ever. In his autobiography, Walker discussed his experiences in the entertainment industry, his challenging relationship with celebrity, and his beliefs regarding politics, race, and show business. The issues that occurred behind the scenes of Good Times, such as his allegedly tense relationship with co-star Esther Rolle, were not something he was afraid to discuss. The book's honesty, humor, and insight about Walker's life and American television in the 1970s as a whole were well received. The announcement that Walker made in 2012 that Monty Gowell would be creating his official iOS mobile app was another illustration of his progressive approach to fan interaction and digital culture. Through the app's interactive features, which include news about Walker's live comedy shows, old clips, and private video notes, fans could get closer to him. Additionally, the app featured a Dynamite button that, with a single tap, allowed users to hear Walker's well-known quote. Walker's use of mobile technology demonstrated his ability to remain relevant as an entertainer in the digital age by reaching both new and old fans at new venues. Jimmie Walker discussed aspects of his personal life that had long piqued the interest of fans and the media in an open interview that aired on The Wendy Williams Show on June 27, 2012. Even though Walker was well known and had been in the spotlight for years, he was honest when he stated that he had never been married and had never had children. Many were taken aback by this statement because they assumed that the charismatic actor, who gained notoriety for his role as J.J. Evans on Good Times, had found a partner at some point during his lengthy career. Walker responded by emphasizing that he had never been married or had a family of his own, despite having been in numerous romantic relationships over the years. He made it sound as though he had a rich and interesting dating history by humorously stating that he had enjoyed the company of numerous girlfriends but had never found the right one to marry. This disclosure demonstrated his independence and suggested that he might have prioritized his career and personal freedom over a typical family life. Walker gained more notoriety a few weeks later on July 11, 2012, when he made an appearance on The O'Reilly Factor, a Fox News political talk show hosted by the divisive Bill O'Reilly. In that interview, Walker was more forthcoming about his political beliefs than he had previously been. In the 2008 presidential election, he was explicit that he had not supported Barack Obama. Given that Obama is the first African-American president, some were taken aback by this. Walker also stated that he did not intend to back Obama in the 2012 election. His remarks generated a great deal of discussion and controversy, particularly among African Americans, who overwhelmingly favored Obama. Walker's strong personal beliefs and desire to be perceived as someone who votes according to his own judgment rather than race or party led him to take a stand. Walker discussed his political beliefs in greater detail in a separate, longer interview with CNN. He referred to himself as a realist independent. He claimed that this term more accurately reflected his nuanced opinions, which frequently cut across party lines and weren't always consistent with any one political movement. Unlike many celebrities who endorse party platforms, Walker emphasized his dedication to reality over idealism. Speaking out against affirmative action policies, he expressed his belief that they were no longer effective. He claimed that while such measures might have been necessary and beneficial during the civil rights movement, they are now ineffective because they infuriated people and undermined the notion of merit-based advancement. Several social justice organizations and members of the entertainment industry disagreed with him on this point of view. Walker, however, remained steadfast in his belief that his position was founded on common sense rather than party ideology. Walker also discussed his views on gay marriage, which at the time was one of the most contentious issues in society. He claimed that same-sex marriage was wrong on a spiritual and personal level, which is why he opposed it. However, he also made the case for its legalization, demonstrating his independence and practicality of thought. He believed that attempting to halt the fight for marriage equality was not only futile but also led to needless strife because it was simply a necessary step forward for society. His statement, "It's not worth fighting against," demonstrated his understanding of the broader movement for acceptance and civil rights, even if it conflicted with his personal beliefs. He was prepared to separate public policy from his personal convictions. At a time when debates were growing increasingly polarizing, this demonstrated a mature and measured approach to politics that stood out. At the age of 78, Jimmie Walker, who portrayed the renownedly goofy and joyful J.J. Evans on the popular sitcom Good Times in the 1970s, has begun to reflect more critically on the individuals and occasions that influenced his life and career. Walker's decision to openly discuss his relationship with his co-star Esther Rolle, who plays Florida Evans' mother in Good Times, is a startling and heartwarming surprise. For many years, a lot of people believed that the two celebrities had a tense relationship away from work. Despite their strong on-screen chemistry, many fans were unaware of their profound artistic and ideological disagreements that were simmering behind the scenes. Esther Rolle, a classically trained actor with strong morals, saw Good Times as a rare opportunity to portray an African-American family on primetime television that was strong and proud, in contrast to the stereotypes and caricatures that had previously been displayed. She pushed hard for authentic stories because she believed the show was a vital component of society and culture. Conversely, Jimmie Walker conducted the show in a comical manner. He immediately rose to prominence on the show thanks to his humorous, exaggerated remarks like "dynamite," which garnered a lot of laughter and a devoted following. But it was also difficult as his fame grew. Despite his popularity, Rolle believed that his character's antics detracted from the show's core message and returned to the stereotypes she wished to eliminate. For years, Walker largely remained silent about their tense working relationship, and he frequently provided evasive or courteous responses when questioned about Rolle. However, he has begun to draw back the curtain and share candid, unexpectedly compassionate thoughts now that he is in his late 70s. In recent public appearances and interviews, Walker has stated that he and Rolle did indeed have a serious issue. He did, however, add that he now respected Rolle's candor and understood her concerns better. Walker's statement, "Esther was tough because she cared, she knew what the show was all about. I didn't always see it that way. I was young, looking for laughs and enjoying the fame. But now that I look back, I can see she was fighting for something bigger," Walker stated. He added that their disagreements stemmed from their vastly different perspectives on what the show ought to be and that their arguments were never malicious. He claimed that at the time, he wasn't always aware of how crucial Rolle's objectives were. She was in plays and worked to make social changes on stage. Walker now claims that despite the arguments, Rolle made sure the black family depicted on Good Times was respectable, resilient, and authentic, and he kept the show rooted in reality. Walker regrets that they were never able to have a genuine relationship during Rolle's lifetime when he reflects on their past. After she passed away in 1998, they continued to respect one another professionally, but their distance from one another never fully healed. "If I could talk to her now," Walker said solemnly, "I'd thank her for standing up for what she believed in and teaching me even when I didn't want to learn. She gave meaning to good times." Jimmie Walker, who is 78 years old, is still honest, demonstrating that he is proud of his comedic legacy but has also matured enough to understand the sacrifices others made to preserve the deeper meaning behind their work. His thoughts have not only helped fans understand how things worked on Good Times, but they have also served as a powerful reminder of how difficult fame, collaboration, and attempting to strike a balance between artistic vision and entertainment can be. When he discusses Esther Rolle, he is speaking truthfully about himself. "This is the last way to honor the woman who contributed to one of the most significant and enduring television programs.